All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Bastyr University's online master's program virtual information session. My name is Delania Bell, and I'm an admissions advisor here at Bastyr, and I've been working in higher education for over 20 years. And so I'm excited that everybody's here today. We'll go ahead and let a few people trickle in before we get started. Right. All right. Well, again, I'll be your host today. We'll be going over the two online master's programs. I'm excited today to introduce one of our speakers, which is Dr. Shanshan Chen, who serves as the department chair for Bastyr's online learning division. And Dr. Chen has been in the field of wellness and nutrition for nearly 20 years now and has been with Bastyr for 9 years. And she'll be going over our master's in science of integrative nutrition, also known as the MSIN. I'm also honored here to have with us Dr. Terry Leap, an adjunct professor with over 20 years of teaching experience. And Dr. Leap brings a true passion for exercise science, wellness, and human performance. And she'll be discussing the the Masters of Science in Exercise Science and Integrated Wellness, also known as the MSES. All right, great. Just a few housekeeping tips. There is a question mark down at the bottom of your screen where you can drop your questions, and we'll either answer them as we go or we'll save them for the end when we'll have a Q&A session where everybody can get their answers, their questions answered. And so with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so today, as I mentioned, we'll be going over these two programs, which are completely online. So that means there's no required in-person attendance. So they are asynchronous, which means there's no specific time of the day or day of the week that students will be required to log in. There'll be different weekly assignments. You'll have recorded lectures, reading assignments, writing assignments, discussion posts, and tests and quizzes for some courses. And these classes, you'll be able to know exactly where you're at as their weekly graded assignments. So the timing of these two programs, basically the coursework is estimated at a time commitment of 10 to 15 hours per week for each class. You'll take 2 courses per term, 1 course at a time. So it's really good for people that are working full-time, working professionals, parents, people that have prior commitments and can't get to the campus. So for the MSIN, the Integrative Nutrition Program, this is a total of 12 classes, which is an 18 to 24-month program. And for the exercise science, it's an 18-month program, which is a total of 10 classes. With these classes, they're offered year-round, and so they go consecutively throughout the year. We'll take a look here at the calendar here in just a minute. You can take a leave of absence if needed, or certainly you can also do a part-time schedule, which is 1 class per term if needed. So here's a look at the academic calendar for both master's programs, right? So you have 3 terms per year. You've got January, May, and September, which is winter, spring, and fall. 1 class every 7.5 weeks, a break, then another 7.5 week class. And it just goes like that throughout the whole year. With that being said, we'll go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Chen to go over the Masters of Science in Integrative Nutrition program.
Thank you, Delina, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to join today's webinar. So as Delina just mentioned, my name is Dr. Shanshan Chen, and I am the department chair of the Bastyr Online Learning Division, also known as BOLD. So it's my great pleasure to introduce our Master of Science in Integrative Nutrition program for you. And we really appreciate your interest in considering our institution and programs. So as you can see on the screen, this is a master program, and the students in this program need 54 credits to graduate. And the 54 credits are typically finished within 24 months. And why do I say typically? Well, I will explain that later on in the next few slides. And our curriculum focuses on a variety of areas. For example, research, culinary medicine, counseling skills, disease prevention, whole foods nutrition, dietary supplementation, food systems, justice, and many more. And for some of you who might be interested in becoming a certified nutrition specialist, and our graduation from the MSIM program will help you fulfill the academic requirements for CNS certification process. And we'll also cover more information later on. And for the January 2026 starting date for the program, the tuition will be $475 per credit hour. And we expect to see this fee increase slightly for future later starting of the program. Okay, so now on the screen, you can see the year one curriculum for the MSIM program. And as Delina just shared, our online programs operate on a different calendar compared to other programs at Bastyr. So each year we have 3 terms, with two sessions in each term, and students take one course at a time. Okay, so it will be great for those busy professionals and other people who might have, other commitments or responsibilities. And each course was 4.5 points, credit points. And as you can see, our first year of curriculum focuses on a lot of the basic sciences, such as research methods, nutrition biochemistry, human physiology, and nutrition metabolism. So this is a year that we aim to build strong foundation for our students to then move on to the second year, where we're going to focus a little bit more on the applied sciences. And now moving on to year 2 curriculum. We are, as I just said, this year's curriculum is still similar to, the calendar runs similar to year 1. Still 3 terms with 2 sessions in each term. Each course was 4.5 credit hours, and also students take one course at a time. But you see that some of these courses are more applied, such as nutrition analysis, assessment, meal planning, nutrition and wellness care, chronic disease prevention, nutrition counseling. And during the second session in the last term, students are expected to independently work on an applied capstone project, which will serve as their graduation project. All right. So back to a previous point, when I said graduation from the MSIM program requires the completion of 54 credits, typically completed within a 24-month period. But sometimes there are exceptions, because we allow potentially 2 waiver courses. And these 2 courses are the nutrition biochemistry and human physiology, both from term 2. Okay, so please note that only these 2 courses can potentially be waived, and they have to be taken in the last 7 years from a regionally accredited institution. And so for those of you who might have taken these courses before within the last 7 years, you can submit a request to transfer the credit hours or to waive these courses. And we're going to begin the transfer process after you start the program. And please know that if you have not taken these courses before, it will not save you time to take these now at another school. Okay. And also we've had students in the past making inquiries or requests about whether they could waive some other courses or waive courses that have been taken longer than 7 years, like before like more than 7 years ago. And unfortunately, we do not allow those. All right. And we expect the graduates from the MSIM program to become experts in the field. And we expect them to be able to apply principles of integrative nutrition to promote health and wellness in individuals and groups. And graduates are also expected to be able to evaluate dietary models with integrative whole food, social, and environmental justice approach. They can also professionally analyze nutrition status, identify nutritional needs, and apply evidence-based nutrition sciences in designing interventions. They're going to have a lot of practices during the last term while working on their capstone project. And students can also create original scientific case report research applying integrative nutrition principles in real life scenarios because they are working with real people to solve real world scenario issues, okay? All right. So graduation from the MSIM program also opens up a lot of different career possibilities, including but not limited to career options such as nutrition consulting in private and group setting, spas, wellness centers, and schools. Also corporate wellness programs, natural products industry, research development, and also nutrition education and promotion, and many more. Also, back to a previous point when I mentioned that for some of you who might be interested in becoming a certified nutrition specialist, then our program's curriculum meets all the academic requirements for the certified nutrition specialist credentialing process. Even though this certification process still requires supervised hours of experiences, which our university will not be able to provide. So I just want to make sure that this information is clear. Graduation from the MSIM program can fulfill the academic requirements for CNS credentialing process, but you still need to get the supervised clinical hours somewhere else upon graduation. We also want to clarify that this program is not intended to train registered dietitian nutritionist, as this is a totally different track, and RDN, registered dietitian nutritionist, requires additional clinical hours and coursework. So if this is your career goal, this won't be the program for you to consider. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Chen, for that overview. Now I'd like to invite Dr. Lee to share her expertise here and give us an overview of the exercise science and integrated wellness program.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's great to be here this evening. So I have the distinct pleasure of being part of this master's in exercise science program. In fact, I am responsible for teaching not the first, but the second and third classes. So I look forward to meeting some of you along the way. This program, as it's outlined here, is a 45 credit program. It takes, just like in Dr. Chen's example, it takes 18 months for you to finish. Our core focus areas are, what makes us so unique is that we've integrated wellness into working with those who are physically active, really pairing or bringing together the exercise and applied sciences into and partnering it with the understanding of what wellness means for all of us. And so that's what makes us truly unique from some of our competitors is bringing those two things together. Our program itself is nationally recognized by the professional certifications that you see listed here, the National Academy of Sports Medicine, the American College of Sports Medicine, National Strength and Conditioning Association, or NSCA, and the American Council on Exercise. Those are all very highly regarded associations in our field. Currently, this program is priced at $375 per credit, which makes it very affordable and super competitive in this space. As you look at the outline, we follow the same format as was explained just a little while ago. In each semester, you'll take 2 courses, one every 8 weeks. Each of those are 4.5 credits for a total of 9 as you make your way or matriculate through the program. You'll start out with that Foundations of Exercise Science, which basically just provides an overview of the program itself and where we're all headed together as we learn and go on this journey together as a group. In that second and third class, the human form classes, we'll review the anatomy of the upper extremity in the second class. And then together, you and I will we'll review the anatomy of the lower extremity. We spend a great deal of time here making sure that you have a strong foundation in understanding the principles of movement here and how the systems work together to create those movements. As you then move on, you'll go into an evidence-based practice and exercise science class. So really starting to take some of what you've learned in those previous 3 classes and put it into practice, right? Helping to build exercise plans and things like that. As you move into that third term, then it's really designing these plans for certain populations, whether it's your general population or special population. It's taking some of what you've learned, applying the anatomy, understanding the wellness and integrated protocols that go with that, and helping to create a practical approach. And so that happens within the third term in classes 5 and 6. Then we'll talk a little bit about nutrition, right? Because what we've also included in this program is an understanding of how nutrition plays such a substantial and critical role in our ability to maintain physicality and to supplement our bodies and systems. It's important and an integral part of maintaining our fitness and well-being. Next, we'll have one class on the wellness component that we spoke of at the very beginning. What is the mind-body connection, and how is it that those 2 systems are related to maintain our optimal fitness levels? And as we kind of round the corner and head into the home stretch, those last 2 classes, there's a behavior change and health and physical activity class, which I think most students really, really enjoy. You start to see the finish line, you're almost there. And then lastly, you'll have a practicum in exercise science. So for a total of 45 credits, I can say from experience, it goes very, very quickly, but it's a great program. Really enjoy the students that enroll in this program. In the classes I've taught so far, it's been a great combination of people from all different walks of life who have a strong desire to connect on this wellness and physical and applied exercise science program. So as we go through this, what are the expected outcomes? Move this over here just a little bit. We will work to identify and adhere to our professional standards, codes of conduct, and what are our scopes of practice, knowing what we can and cannot do. Identify concepts and structures of anatomy, physiology, human movement science, the exercise metabolism, nutrition, and the use of supplementation. You'll also learn how to select, perform, and interpret the results from different types of assessments and client intake interview processes. You'll discuss and demonstrate proper exercise and communication techniques and core competencies in wellness coaching, and learn to design client-specific wellness programs based on those results, the client's abilities, and the evidence, and determine how to create an individualized wellness coaching strategy. You'll recognize and apply the exercise physiology and behavioral coaching techniques for a wide variety of clients. You'll learn to explain the intersection of the components of wellness and how it works to complement our overall well-being and optimize our capabilities and capacities. And lastly, you'll determine the evidence-based sources of information to inform coaching and training practices. Opportunities upon graduation, working in areas of fitness training and consulting, also as a personal trainer, becoming a fitness specialist or a corporate wellness specialist as well. A lot of our students go into community health positions as well, whether it's in their local communities or in larger metropolitan cities. And one of the factors that we've listed here is that this field is expected to grow substantially. over the next 8 years, which is much faster than most all other occupations. And so the timing is really good for us to hop into a program like this and grab this master's degree.
Great. All right. Thank you, Dr. Leap, for that thorough overview of the exercise science and integrated wellness program. I'll go ahead and take it from here. And then we'll come back at the end and do our Q&A session for everybody to get their questions answered with all of us, including Mark, the director, who's also on the call today, Director of Admissions. Okay, so how to apply. So the application overview here, let me just move this a little bit here, if I could. Okay, maybe here. All right. Yeah, so there is an application overview here. So you'll need a bachelor degree for both of these programs. You'll have a cumulative GPA requirement of a 2.75 or higher, as well as you'll want to fill out the FAFSA application as soon as possible. The admissions application deadline for our January cohort to have all of your documents in is going to be December 15th. I recommend getting your application in as soon as possible. That way you can be prepared and have a smooth onboarding. As it says here, our next start term, as we talked about earlier, is going to be January 5th, which is our winter term, starting here coming up in the next few months, right? Okay. So steps to apply, you'll apply online here at Bastyr, apply.bastyr.edu. I know that some of you that I talked to are in this webinar, and I'm sure you remember the email that I sent you with the instructions to apply. So you can also follow that link or go through our website. So no reference or test scores required, as well as no prereqs required. There is one small writing section, which is a personal statement on why you're applying and how this program will align with your goals. So also you'll need your official transcripts. At some point you can upload your unofficial transcripts for a preliminary review to make sure you have the GPA and the bachelor degree that is required. And so we'll need transcripts from every institution where you earned credit. Also, you can send them directly to me or to appstat@bastyr.edu. When you do order official transcripts from either Parchment or National Student Clearinghouse, you'll want to select to have them sent to the Bastyr Admissions all campuses. Also check your email regularly for application updates. Also, we'll be waiving the application fee. I just noticed that this is out of order here. So let's go back here to this, where we went. Okay, yeah. So we'll also be waiving the application fee for students that have attended the webinar today. And so you can talk to me about that. What's next? After your application, all the supplemental documents have been submitted, your application will be evaluated by the admissions department and our admissions coordinator and yours truly, myself. If you're admitted to the program, your next steps will include to set up your Bastyr email and student account, which will be in the offer letter, instructions also to sign and return your enrollment agreement, or as we've talked before to some of the students here on this webinar, the statement of intent, as well as applying for financial aid. And then also you'll want to keep up with your student email inbox where you receive all your onboarding information, like orientation details, financial aid updates, department news, and more. Also remember to submit any financial transcripts as we talked before the start of your program. So if you have uploaded unofficial transcripts, you'll want to order official transcripts before the start. Okay, financing your education. You'll want to be prepared to, successfully finance your education, which is a critical part of your journey here. And so we do have student accounts where you can meet up with and either set up a payment plan or, obviously talk with financial aid to see what you may qualify for with the FAFSA. With that being said, here is the link to apply for the 25-26 FAFSA. You also may want to consider filling out the 26-27 FAFSA for your second term. So you'll want to submit this form as soon as possible. and provide any other requested documentation that's necessary, like the financial aid form that's also necessary to send to our financial aid department on top of the FAFSA. So financial aid questions, you'll want to reach out here to Nancy Chrisman. She is our grad financial aid advisor. This is her email, and chrisman@bastyr.edu. And also her phone number is listed 425-602-3084. If you want to take a screenshot or a print screen here of this page, let me go ahead and do so now. So we also encourage you to explore our campus resources. And so once you've submitted your statement of intent or your enrollment agreement for the online program, there is no actual deposit for this particular program, but you'll continue exploring all Bastyr has to offer. So we do have social media, Facebook, Instagram, and we encourage you to look at those and join those communities. As well as take a look at the website. There are a lot of opportunities to connect with our, with our different teams. You can visit us here at the campus and Kenmore or San Diego campus here. You also have the bookstore. Please, we encourage students to take a look at that stuff through our website. You can connect with me later, and we'll go into more details on how to do that. Here's our admissions advising team. An awesome group here that I have the pleasure of working with on a daily basis here to answer your questions. You may have spoken with them already, but we would love to help and make sure that you have everything you need to get into this program. All right. With that being said, we'll go ahead and open up our Q&A session with Dr. Shan Chen, Dr. Terry Leap, Mark, and myself.
There's one question here. I'll go ahead and read it aloud. And just one quick thing. Hi, everyone. I'm Mark Thompson, Director of Admissions. This recording and the slide deck will be sent to everyone after we finish too. So you'll be able to go through it again at your leisure, click on the various links, and then formulate more questions if you have those. One question we have is, does the MSIN meet the academic requirements for Washington State Certified Nutritionist License? Dr. Chen, I think that is for you. You're on mute, so we'd love to hear what you're saying.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for the question. I was just trying to type the answer, but I can verbally answer that as well. So that's a great question. So for our MSIM program, our curriculum, as I mentioned, meets the academic requirements for the certified nutrition specialist, but not at the state level. So it could or it could not, depending on which state we're talking about. So you may need to do your own research on the state level certified nutrition and licensure requirements and compare that to our curriculum, because we have students from many different states and we do not have the information for every state to offer. But if you would like to have a separate conversation with us, I'd love to set up a meeting with you. And my email address is right there on the screen. So if you would like to, I'm happy to connect with you after the webinar. Thank you.
Dr. Leap, you answered one of these questions already in writing, but I liked it so much.
Yeah.
I was wondering if we could just talk about it a little bit here.
Sure.
In the recording. The question regarding if MSES is good for populations such as pregnant or postpartum mothers dealing with their physical fitness. And you've been in exercise science field for 20 plus years, since you were 9 years old. And so,
Thank you for saying that.
all of the different niche populations that this program could work for, could you just expand a little bit on maybe some of the areas that maybe we haven't even thought of?
You bet. Yeah. So when I saw that question, I was like, yes, that's the way we like to think, because a lot of times when we say the words exercise science, we think of those who are only 100% physically active and cut and ripped, and it goes far beyond that. And working with special populations like pregnant moms, postpartum moms, geriatric, growing teens, right? I mean, when you go through the special populations class, you're going to touch on all of the different potential populations that you could be working with. We have students who work in cardiac rehab programs, right, and help people who are recovering from open heart surgeries. We have people who work in corporate fitness centers and help those people who are, mostly sitting down all day maintain a level of fitness by getting up and moving around and helping to design ergonomically correct workstations, right? It's almost endless in some respects, but at the same time, we will, through what we mentioned when we talked about outcomes, how you'll work to learn how to evaluate and then to design a program based on what it is your client is asking you for or what they may need from you, really gives you the opportunity to reach out and help lots and lots of different folks from all different walks of life. And so that's what I love most about this program, is that it's so far reaching. It has the potential to basically apply in almost any walk of life. And that's what I love. Adding that wellness component is icing on the cake.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
There's another question about transferring. There's a student transferring from MUIH. How does Bastyr's integrated nutrition program compare, if you know anything about that other school? MUIH.
I think it's National University of Integrative Health. I could be wrong, but it's something like that. Maybe.
Yeah. I know from it, please, if anybody else would like to speak to transferability, I know that it must come from another regional accredited institution, correct? And be less than 7 years, right? So if that university meets those criteria and the age of your transcript is less than 7, I would imagine that that would work.
Yeah, so about this question, transferring credits, as I mentioned, after enrolling into the program, the potential waiver of those 2 courses process will begin, but we can only allow the waiver of the 2 courses we mentioned, the biochemistry and human physiology. So if you have taken other courses from this university that are not those 2 courses, unfortunately, you still need to take the courses from our curriculum, if that's what you're asking about.
Thank you, Dr. Chen. And it looks like it was Maryland University is where they were speaking about.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm going to go a little bit out of order because I want to answer one of these. Are online students allowed to attend graduation? Absolutely, yes. We encourage that. We have 2 graduation ceremonies each year, one at our Kenmore campus, one in San Diego, and you can pick which one is more convenient for you. But yes, absolutely. Every year we have our online students participate. Another question. I was curious how many instructors and their general background teach in MSINs. How many total faculty, and just an overview of their backgrounds?
I would say there's a different teacher for each course.
In MSIN? Okay.
Yeah, for the MSIM program, so as myself as the chair of the board division, I also teach a couple of the MSIM courses, including the graduation project, which is the applied capstone project. And we also have some amazing adjunct faculty member who are highly qualified to teach those basic sciences and applied sciences courses. And I think if you ask about the number of faculty member and talking about MSIN, we have a total, and that number varies from one session to another, because sometimes we have faculty members taking several courses, while at some other times that's not the situation. So when we have the highest number, we have about 8 to 9 faculty members teaching.
Thank you, Dr. Chen. And another for MSIN, what does coursework, assignments, and interaction with class material typically look like? What's kind of the day-to-day, I guess?
That's a great question.
Yeah, sure, great question, and I love to answer that. So for the MSIM program, because there are those courses focusing on basic sciences and applied sciences, so each course will vary a little bit in terms of the time requirements and the format of the course, for sure. And I will take my courses, for example, because I teach the nutrition, environment, and health. And for that course, each week the students have assigned readings to read, and they also have weekly discussion sessions that they can participate to interact with their peers and the faculty member. And here in our department, we require our faculty to interact with students on a regular basis. So even though we do not have real-time even though we do not have real-time classes, students do have opportunities to interact with the faculty member and also their peers. So other than the weekly discussions, there are sometimes weekly quizzes or weekly assignments, and the faculty member are supposed to grade and provide the feedback, very rich, constructive feedback to the students within 3 days, so that you are not going to wait on the response forever. And in case there are some areas for you to improve or make changes, there are plenty of opportunities for you to do so. So with regards to the workload, as you already know, you're taking one course at a time. So we are expecting about 10 to 10 hours per week. And for some certain courses, maybe that could be longer, like 15 hours, but not on a regular basis. Maybe, towards the end of the session, end of the course, like 10 to 15 hours per week committed to the course materials and learning.
Thank you, Dr. Chen. There's one more question here, and we're going to let Delania take this one because I know you get this question a lot. It says, if I start in winter quarter, which is in January, is the third quarter of the first year in the fall, or is there a summer quarter?
Yep. So there are the 3 terms per year, which you have January, the winter, May, the spring, and then you have fall, the September. So it will go throughout the whole year. So the third term will be in fall, the second term will be in May, and that will fall somewhere in the line of June and July. Yeah. So you'll be attending class throughout the whole year.
Yeah, for our bold programs, they're not technically quarters because our traditional quarter for our other programs is about 11 weeks. And these terms for online are about 15 weeks. So they stretch, so you're in class 45 weeks, you have a couple of weeks in between. There's your 52 weeks for the year. So not a traditional summer break per se, because the terms are a little bit longer than an actual quarter. That is the last question.
Well, all right. Well, that sounds great. Well, thank you both, Dr. Chen and Dr. Leap and Mark, for sharing all of your expertise with us today. Before we wrap it up, I'd like to remind everyone that the applications are open for all 3 terms, especially for the January session, which is coming up. So I am looking to see all of your applications come in. It's great to see some familiar names here in the chat. And I'd be happy to connect or reconnect with some of you one-on-one to discuss the next steps in the admissions process. And I want to thank everyone for joining us today. And I look forward to supporting you. We all look forward to supporting you here on your journey here at Bastyr University.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. Hey, are we out? Bye.